I'm Meezy Blvd, and today on The Laws, when you talk rap albums of the 2010s, these are the ones that you should be talking about. Welcome to the first episode of The Law with Meezy Blvd, a show where I'm going to give my opinions, and I don't care what you think. You may think they're loud and wrong, or you might think, hey, he knows what he's talking about. So, on the first episode, we're talking music of the 2010s. Rap albums of the 2010s. I don't want to do the cliche bullshit where I pick 5 albums and I start talking about them, and then you get to decide, oh, he left A, B, and C off. I'm probably going to forget some shit. But I don't want to list it because it's too many albums to be great. Kendrick, phenomenal artist of the 2010s. Has about 4 albums that probably could go on this list. Me, being a stan of the OVO clan, I think every album Drake's ever put out deserves to go in there. Kanye has one classic of this generation, but he does not have a flop. So we're going to talk about the artists that made this generations and their notable projects. So, the first artist I'm going to pick today is the rapper that has ran the decade, the entire 10s. The man from Canada, Mr. Drizzy Drake. Drake's albums have been a roller coaster of emotions and thought-provoking ideas. Take Care, we know for sure, is the one album that when people talk classics and Drake doesn't have a classic in his archive, Take Care is the one that should be the classic. The album is damn near perfect. Every time I put it on, I hear it and I think, oh man, I remember the girl that I was with when this happened to me. Or damn, you remember we was doing A, B, and C when it came out. So that's how I feel. Take Care should be the one. We can throw arguable mention to Nothing Was the Same. I personally am a Views guy. Views and what he did with If You're Reading This. It's fucking good, bro. It's fucking good. I love it. Thank you to Drake for being an iconic figure in the 2010s. Next artist that we have is Kendrick Lamar. If Drake ran the Billboard charts of the 2010s, the Artist Award should go to Kendrick Lamar. Everybody always talks about how iconic Kendrick Lamar albums are. I prove it. Me, not much of a To Pimp a Butterfly fan. I think it was trash. I don't think it was trash. I think it was art. It was more artistic than it was musical. I didn't like the music. I don't ever go back to it. The same thing with that Untitled crap that he did. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't need to hear the ideas that you came up with and you didn't like. Keep that shit. But what I will say is Damn is a very good album. I think Damn is a collaboration. It's a mixture. He put his radio records from Good Kid, Mad City and his introspective take he took from Pimp a Butterfly and put them together and made Damn. And last but not least, Good Kid, Mad City may be the top classic for me. That is an album that I remember hearing and I thought, oh my God, this story is fucking amazing. And my dad got into it, families got into it. It's just a really good album. It's really good put together. So number 2 on my list, I went from Drake. Number 2, Kendrick Lamar and His Bodies of Work. All of them. I couldn't just pick one. I couldn't just pick one. So moving along, I have to say this because people are gonna think I'm hating if I don't. An album that I think is very, very much overrated of the 2010s. Watch the Throne. Now, Watch the Throne, I know, has 2 of our favorite artists that I'm gonna go into detail because a couple of their albums helped shape what hip-hop meant in the 2000s. But this one here is not the one for me. Everybody calls it a classic. It has amazing production. It has an amazing sound. All of that is great. But when I hear the names Kanye West and Jay-Z, there should never be a doubt in my mind that this album is good. I remember 2011 and the hype behind it. The hype was amazing. The day it came out, they didn't even have a leak. It just dropped out of nowhere. It was like, oh, it's up now. And we was like, oh my God. But now listening to it, 8 years later, this album's overhyped. Jay-Z did not out-rap Kanye West. Not at all. It was even, neck and neck. He didn't out-rap him. And I think Hov is the better rapper. 2, this sounds more like a Jay-Z album produced by Kanye West. And I don't think that's the way it should have been. I think it should have been a Kanye West album where it goes, it's a little big and outlandish, and Jay-Z played his part well. And there's a couple flops on there. There's a record with Jay-Z, Kanye, and Beyonce that nobody ever plays. And I need you to know that shouldn't be it. So, moving along, I have to say, the greatest album of this decade, of the 2010s, belongs to Mr. Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is a classic from top to bottom. Top to bottom. Runaway, All of the Lights, Blame Game, So Appalled, Monsters. You go down the track list, it's just glorious. Everything around that album was crazy. The rollout, when he made all his friends and his team dress up in suits. The movie that he took over, all of Viacom went. After the Taylor Swift thing, where MTV wasn't really fucking with him, and Viacom probably shouldn't have been fucking with him. He took over both networks to play a movie that was a masterpiece. And let's not forget that the visuals from that are just iconic. Watch the Throne happen because of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. If it wasn't for that, there wouldn't be nothing. So, I think the best album of this decade belongs to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I want to talk about the other member of the throne. For most of the 2010s, I thought Jay-Z was washed up. I thought I couldn't see it. I didn't think it got bad. I just think Hov had surpassed being what a rapper was, and his life had turned into being a stay-at-home dad. Beyonce was doing her side on the music, and she was the legend throughout the 10s. And I thought Jay-Z is like, he's a husband now. He's a businessman, not a business. And it was over. But then 2017 came, and 444 dropped. And I remembered why we call him the greatest of all time. With 444, it reminded me why Hov is the greatest of all time. To have the ability to have no ID, use these samples, and produce this like cohesive body of work. And Jay-Z open the blinds on his life and just talk about how good it was. Like, just talk about everything that we've never heard from Hov. From whatever his situation was with Beyonce, to now becoming a billionaire, to now being a husband, father, family man, learning what it was like to be a son. It's an album that, like, shows you that we knew Hov was cool. Like, the guy, he was cool, he's the bop, he's the movement, he taught us everything we knew, but he also could be vulnerable, which in 2020 is the move. Like, we gotta be more vulnerable, guys. Just at least for the ladies. Shh, don't tell nobody I said that. But I like the fact that Hov did that, and we're gonna move on. I did my biggest overrated album. Now I'm going to do my most underappreciated album. I talked Kendrick Lamar, and I picked Good Kid, Mad City. The reason I picked Good Kid, Mad City because I didn't think To Pimp a Butterfly was it for me musically. But for my most underrated and underappreciated album, I have YG, My Crazy Life. The reason I picked YG's My Crazy Life is it is the exact same album as Good Kid, Mad City, told from a different perspective. Good Kid, Mad City is exactly what it says. He's a good kid that lives in a mad city. While My Crazy Life is a kid that lives in that same city doing the mad shit. Kendrick was a good kid. YG was out here in these streets, kicking in Asians' doors, taking it. The story is the exact same from different perspectives. And the music is equally great. Mustard and YG put together a body of work that told a great story. From ups and downs with his mom, ups and downs with a girlfriend, from robbing people, being hungry. YG put together a really good body of work that should get the exact same acclaim that Good Kid, Mad City gets. And thank you to YG for that. To wrap up the list of the decade, I'd hate myself if I didn't put this album in there. I have 2014 Forest Hill Drives. This is by far my favorite Cole album. My favorite Cole album. Cole took this body of work and it was his first project that I thought that was not a mixtape, that I thought that he really sat down and took his time and made it work. We hadn't seen Cole in a while, and when we saw the title 2014, it was already December. We didn't even think he could get it out in time for it to still mean the same thing that it did. But the concept behind it was amazing. Him making this album and going to each of the homes of the fans and playing it for them. That was amazing. The album cover art is amazing. It's him sitting on his house, and it just made it perfect that his address for the home is 2014, and it came out. I think that was amazing. I think Cole finally showcased that he is one of the big dogs. And you can say the three of them switch, Cole, Kendrick, Drake, but Cole solidified his place as top MC in the 2010s. His previous body work are nice, they're cool. Even KOD and For Your Eyes, those are amazing. But the one that sticks out to me the most is 2014 Forest Hills Drive. And I think that is one of the albums that when we look back on a decade and we talk your favorite artist, that is the album that you have to bring up. So that wraps up our list. I'll give you our list again. I'll run it down. Drake with Take Care. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Jay-Z, 444. And to wrap it up, it's J. Cole, 2014 Forest Hill Drive. I also threw in a couple overrated and underrated. I think my opinion, overrated, Watch the Throne. Love the album. I love everything it stood for. Overrated. And underappreciated, YG, My Crazy Life. If I'm gonna be personable and give Good Kid, Mad City its flowers, I have to give My Crazy Life its flowers as well. So in conclusion today, you might think, hey, these takes are trash. Meezy didn't know what he's talking about. He didn't even have any girls. He didn't have any women. What about Nicki? Love Nicki. Legend. Ran the baby boom at the end of the 2010s of women rappers. She's an icon and is a legend, but that boom ended at the year. Shout out Cardi for what she did and her accomplishment. One of the first female rappers to win Rap Album of the Year. This happened at the end of the decade. We gotta let it see if it runs, if it happens more. We gotta keep it. See if it gets bigger. Maybe the 2020s, it'll be their time. But this has been The Law with Meezy Blvd. We'll see you next time.